I've been to Rako, Ramsey, Rapid River, Drummond Island, Ripley, Rudyard, Rumley, Sugar Island, Gastronema, Brimley.
Hi, this is Jim Islip with MSU Extension, and this is What's Up at Uprec on August 13, 2020. Today we'll visit with Farm Manager Paul Naasz about some of the fencing systems in place here at Chatham.
Good morning. My name is Paul Naasz, and I'm Farm Manager at the Upper Peninsula Research and Extension Center in Chatham, Michigan. I guess along the perimeters next to the roads, I like to have at least 3 wires, and they're all high tensile. And generally on a 3-wire fence, you want to make the center wire hot. You can make them all hot if you want. You really don't need to. I guess on this farm, when we get out along the highway, we do have some pastures that run along the highway, and we have 5 wires on those with 2 hot.
Is that just for more security?
More security, yeah, because you know what they say, good fences make good neighbors. Especially along the highway, we don't want anybody getting out on the road. So on our interior fences, we generally like to use treated wood posts. And every once in a while, we'll put those posts in and you'll see a spot where you, maybe a little bit of a high spot where the wire is too low to the ground, and then we can come in and put these fiberglass posts in. If you go through a valley, you can see where we may have a valley where we had to put a fiberglass post. And we try to set our wood posts about 50 feet apart. And so on the interior fence, we can get by with just a single wire. And they respect that, because when we put up our temporary fence, that's just a single strand as well. Okay, so when we're building our fence and we got our wire strung, then we need to attach it to the posts. And whether you're using wood posts, if you're using a fiberglass post, the fiberglass post does not conduct electricity, and there's just a clip that attaches to that post. But if you're doing wood posts, there are several different kinds of insulators. We have used a lot of what's called an insul tube, and it's just a plastic tube that you slip on while you're building your fence. The only challenge with that is that, you know, when you put your wire up, you need to count your posts, count out the tubes, slip them on the wire before you attach the wire to the other end. But they just staple on and keeps the wire away from the post. Every once in a while we do have a little trouble with these, in that can crack and you will get a short. We don't have too much trouble, and these are very inexpensive. And this is what's called a pin lock insulator, and then it's got a pin in it. You can pull it out and then pull your wire out and put it back in and put the pin back in. It's called a pin lock. They make these for T-posts as well, steel posts. These are really nice, and ideally in a real world, you know, when the snow starts to come, if we had all our insulators on the pin locks, you could come out in the fall of the year, pull all the pins and lay your wires on the ground, which would really ease the pressure on the posts. These are quite a bit more expensive than the tube. These are about 25 cents a piece. The tubes are about 5 cents a piece. But if we have a tube that's broke, we always have some of these on hand that we can slip these in. They're just 2 nails, one on the top of the bottom and the pin, and you're good to go. Well, when we're talking about fencing, the most critical part of building a new fence is to have a good corner. You know, we use high tensile wire, and so there's tension on that wire, and it puts a tremendous pull on the corner post. There are several different ways of doing a corner post. I guess the method that I prefer is what's called an H brace, and this is an H brace corner. Other corners are a figure 4, and a figure 4 would just be one corner, one post in the corner, and then your cross member would come at an angle down and sit onto the ground on a plate. What we mean by a plate would be a 2 by 12 foot square. So you'd angle the end of that so that it can slide. So as there's tension by the wires that want to pull the post this way, that figure 4 would slide on the ground, and there'd be a brace wire between the bottom of your corner post to the end of that slide post. And basically what that does is it equalizes the tension on this post so that it's a straight pull, because it pulls from the bottom as well as the top. So that's what's called a figure 4. If you get a big enough post, I've seen people that have put big telephone poles, just get them deep enough, big enough, you can get by with a single post. But I like the H brace. So we have our corner post, then we come and put another post about 7-8 feet further away, and then put nail this cross post in between. So once we get the cross post in between, then we'll take high tensile wire or any kind of wire, come from toward the top of this post to the bottom of your corner post. And that's tight. So you can kind of imagine, if I were to pull on the top of this post and move it, it would push on this cross brace, which would push on this post this way, and with this wire, it transfers all the pull to the bottom of your corner. So instead of getting your post, leaning, tipping like this, the pull, it would be straight, and keeps your corners good and strong. And you know, especially in the Upper Peninsula, we get a lot of snow here. It's not so bad in the summertime, but with the snow pulls them wires down and really puts a lot of tension on your corners. You have these, what we call the corner insulators, and there's many different types of corner insulators. This is just a porcelain insulator. So you'd wrap some wire around the post on one side of your insulator and then put your hot wire in the other side. And this is our temporary fencing system that we use here. It's pretty common. This is a reel that winds the string up. This string has got strands of stainless steel wire in it, and so it conducts electricity. And there's on one spool there's about 1,300 feet or a quarter of a mile of wire on each spool. So we use this white step-in posts, put them about 50 feet apart, or you just need to follow the terrain of the land. But we'll come and we'll string this wire out and then put the fence posts in, step-in posts, and put the wire on there, and we can reel it up tight and we get it close. And I guess this is how we do it, because we want this hot. So we just pull a little bit of wire off the bottom of the spool, wrap it around the handle, and then when we connect it to our electric fence, that makes it hot. And you just don't want to touch anything steel when you take it off, so you got to be careful when you take it and grab it off that you don't touch anything. This particular reel has a gear in it, and it's geared at 3-to-1. So for every foot that I crank, we actually roll up 3 feet. And that's they're more expensive. They're like twice the money. This spool is about $70. But let me tell you, if you do a lot of this, that 3-to-1 gear ratio is worth every penny. For our gates, moving in and out of pastures, on a fair amount of them, we like to use this type of a system, and it's just a spring-loaded gate handle. There's a spring in there, gate handle you can pick up anywhere. And we like to use the tape. Again, this is like the string. This tape has stainless steel fibers running through it, so that it's electric. We like to use the tape because you can see it's a lot more visible. The way this is set up, I hooked it to the hot wire on the fence, so now this fence is hot. If I unhook it, then it's dead, and you can do whatever you want with it.
The whole fence isn't dead, just the gate?
Just the gate's dead.
Yeah. That's what's up at Uprec. Hope to see you again next time.
I've been everywhere, man. I've crossed the UP fair, man. I've breathed that freezing air, man. I've traveled, I've had my share, man. I've been